The Harley-Davidson Milwaukee-Eight engine makes 111 foot-pounds of torque, but only 80 horsepower. Meanwhile, Ducati's Panigale V4 produces 216 horsepower from a smaller engine. That's not just a difference in numbers, it's a clash of engineering philosophies that's divided the motorcycle world for decades. I've spent 15 years working on both American and European motorcycles, and I'm about to settle the debate that's raged in every bike shop and online forum. Which philosophy actually creates the better motorcycle? The answer might shock you, and it's guaranteed to make some of you furious. Team American Torque or Team European Horsepower? Which side are you on? Drop your allegiance in the comments because today we're settling this once and for all. The sound of a Harley-Davidson thundering down an open highway is unmistakable. That deep guttural rumble isn't just noise, it's American engineering philosophy in its purest form. But fire up a Ducati Panigale V4, and you'll hear something completely different. A high-pitched scream that tears through the air like a fighter jet. Two motorcycles, two entirely different souls. Here's the shocking truth. American riders are willingly paying $30,000 for motorcycles that make less power than Japanese bikes, costing a third of the price. And European riders are spending thousands on maintenance for bikes that might leave them stranded. Why? Because motorcycle choice isn't rational. It's emotional, cultural, and deeply personal. American motorcycle engines, particularly those from Harley-Davidson, are built on one fundamental belief: torque is king. The iconic Milwaukee-Eight engine exemplifies this philosophy with its 45-degree V-twin configuration that produces a massive 111 foot-pounds of torque at just 3,750 RPM. Think about that for a second. Maximum power at less than 4,000 RPM. That's barely above idle for most European sport bikes. This isn't an accident. It's deliberate engineering that prioritizes what American riders have always valued: effortless power delivery and mechanical simplicity. When you twist the throttle on a Harley, you're not asking for power, you're unleashing it. European manufacturers like Ducati, BMW, and KTM take a radically different approach. Their engines are precision instruments designed to extract maximum performance through advanced technology. The Ducati Panigale V4 produces an astonishing 216 horsepower at 13,500 RPM, nearly 4 times the RPM where a Harley makes peak torque. But here's where it gets interesting. These aren't just different approaches to the same problem. They're answers to completely different questions. American engines ask, how do we create an experience that feels powerful and visceral at all times? European engines ask, how do we push the boundaries of what's physically possible with internal combustion? And this fundamental difference shapes everything about how these engines are built. Let's get under the hood, or rather under the tank, and look at how these philosophies translate into actual engine construction. American motorcycle engines, led by Harley-Davidson, maintain traditional pushrod valve actuation systems. The Milwaukee-Eight engine uses a single camshaft located in the engine block, with pushrods and rocker arms to operate the valves. This might sound outdated, but it offers several critical advantages. First, mechanical simplicity. Fewer moving parts means fewer things to break. The pushrod system has been refined over decades to be bulletproof reliable. Second, it creates a compact engine height, allowing for those low-slung cruiser profiles that define American motorcycles. And third, this is crucial, it delivers excellent low-end torque due to longer stroke designs. That's why a Harley feels like it's pulling you forward with an invisible hand, even at a low RPM. But this design has a ceiling. Pushrod engines are typically limited to RPM ranges under 6,000 due to the increased mass of the valve train components. Try to spin them faster and physics fights back. European manufacturers took a completely different path. They embraced overhead camshaft designs, typically using double overhead cam configurations. This allows for higher RPM capability. European engines regularly rev to 10,000 plus RPM and multiple valves per cylinder for improved airflow. The result? More horsepower from smaller displacement engines. Ducati's desmodromic valve system represents the pinnacle of European valve technology. Instead of using springs to close valves, it uses mechanical cam-operated closing. This allows for precise valve control at extremely high RPM, where conventional valve springs would float. It's more complex, more expensive to manufacture, and requires more maintenance. But the performance benefits are undeniable. This is the fundamental trade-off between American and European design philosophies. simplicity and torque versus complexity and high RPM performance. But here's the dirty secret European manufacturers don't want you to know. All that complexity comes at a staggering cost. The average Ducati owner spends $1,200 annually on maintenance, more than triple what Japanese bike owners pay. And BMW isn't far behind. Harley owners, are you feeling smug? Don't. Consumer Reports found that 1 in 4 Harley owners experienced major problems within 4 years, worse than many European brands. That simple engine isn't always as reliable as the marketing suggests. The technical specifications reveal just how different these approaches are. Take the valve train, for instance. Harley's Milwaukee-Eight uses a 20-valve OHV system with those iconic push rods, while Ducati's Testastretta engine employs a sophisticated 24-valve DOHC setup with variable valve timing. These aren't just different designs, they're different engineering paradigms. Even the way these engines are assembled tells a story. American V-twins are built with a focus on accessibility and serviceability. You can tear down a Harley with basic tools in your garage. European engines, particularly those from Ducati and BMW, often require specialized tools and diagnostic equipment just to perform basic maintenance. Harley riders, have you ever had to pay a dealer $150 for a simple diagnostic check? Drop your maintenance horror stories in the comments below. One of the most visible differences between American and European motorcycles is how they handle heat. And this isn't just about keeping the engine cool, it's about the entire riding experience. Traditional American motorcycles relied heavily on air cooling systems. There's something viscerally honest about an air-cooled engine. You can see the fins, feel the heat radiating off the cylinders, and experience the mechanical nature of the machine. But this approach creates challenges. The Milwaukee-Eight 107 engine runs cylinder head temperatures of 220 degrees Fahrenheit during regular riding. That's hot enough to boil water, and you can feel it between your legs in stop-and-go traffic. Harley's newer twin-cooled systems use liquid cooling for cylinder heads only, reducing temperatures to around 120 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a compromise that preserves the look and feel of an air-cooled engine while managing the worst of the heat issues. European manufacturers, on the other hand, embraced comprehensive liquid cooling systems much earlier. This provides more consistent operating temperatures across all riding conditions, higher performance potential without overheating concerns, and better emissions control through precise temperature management. BMW's Boxer twin engines benefit from excellent natural air cooling due to their horizontally opposed cylinder layout, with each cylinder receiving direct airflow. It's a clever design that combines the best of both worlds, the aesthetic appeal of exposed cylinders with effective cooling. But there's a deeper meaning to these different approaches to cooling. American engines celebrate heat as part of the experience, the mechanical nature of motorcycling made tangible. European engines treat heat as a problem to be solved through engineering. But wait until you hear about the real-world performance differences. The numbers don't lie. A Harley-Davidson Road Glide with the Milwaukee-Eight 114 engine costs around $28,000 and produces 80 horsepower. A BMW S1000RR costs about the same but produces 205 horsepower. That's more than double the power for the same money. European riders, does that extra horsepower actually translate to a better riding experience? Or are you just paying for bragging rights? Let me know in the comments. The real magic happens when rubber meets road. How do these different engineering philosophies translate into actual riding experiences? American engines prioritize low-end torque delivery that suits highway cruising and relaxed riding styles. Harley's Milwaukee-Eight 114 produces 119 pound-feet of torque at just 3,000 RPM. That's like having a freight train between your legs. Unstoppable force from the moment you crack the throttle. This creates broad, flat torque curves that don't require frequent gear changes. You can lug a Harley down to impossibly low RPM, and it'll still pull cleanly. It's an experience that feels effortless and powerful at all times. European engines target peak power output and rev-happy characteristics. The Ducati Panigale V4 produces 216 horsepower at 13,500 RPM. That's Formula One car territory from a production motorcycle. The power delivery is linear and rewards spirited riding and high RPM operation. You need to work the gearbox to keep the engine in its sweet spot. But when you do, the acceleration is mind-bending. European bikes also embrace sophisticated electronic systems like traction control, cornering ABS, and multiple riding modes. These technologies tame the raw power and make it more usable in various conditions. American engines are about the visceral connection between rider and machine, feeling every combustion stroke through the handlebars and seat. European engines are about extracting maximum performance through technology and precision engineering. Here's the controversial truth that neither side wants to admit. Most riders never use even 50% of their motorcycle's capability. The average Harley owner never needs all that torque, and the average Ducati owner never approaches the bike's performance limits. So what are we really paying for? The answer might surprise you. The exhaust systems tell their own story. American V-twins produce that iconic potato-potato rumble through carefully tuned exhaust systems that prioritize sound character over maximum flow efficiency. European sport bikes use complex, multi-path exhaust systems with variable valves that optimize back pressure at different RPM ranges. One celebrates tradition, the other pursues performance at all costs. Even the firing order of these engines reveals their different characters. Harley's traditional 45-degree V-twin with its single-pin crankshaft creates that distinctive, uneven firing interval that riders love. Meanwhile, Ducati's Desmosedici Stradale 5.4 uses a counter-rotating crankshaft and a twin-pulse firing order that mimics the feel of a V-twin while delivering V4 power. It's engineering that acknowledges the emotional appeal of the American approach while pushing beyond its performance limitations. How we maintain our machines says a lot about our relationship with them. And here again, American and European approaches couldn't be more different. American motorcycle engines emphasize owner-serviceable maintenance and long-term durability. Components are accessible and can be serviced with basic tools. Parts availability is widespread, and service networks are familiar with these engines. However, maintenance costs can be surprisingly high. Consumer reports found that 1 in 4 Harley owners experienced major problems within 4 years. The simplicity of the design doesn't always translate to lower maintenance costs. European motorcycles accept higher maintenance complexity for performance benefits. Specialized tools and procedures are often required for service. More frequent and expensive service intervals are the norm. Advanced diagnostic equipment is needed for proper servicing. Ducati and BMW showed higher maintenance costs than Japanese competitors in reliability surveys. Yet despite these challenges, 74% of BMW owners and 75% of Harley owners would buy the same brand again, compared to only 60 to 63% of Japanese bike owners. This reveals something profound about motorcycle ownership. It's not just about reliability or cost, it's about the emotional connection riders have with their machines. Both American and European motorcycles create strong emotional bonds, albeit in very different ways. The vibration characteristics of these engines further highlight their philosophical differences. American V-twins, particularly Harley's 45-degree configuration, produce a significant amount of primary vibration. Rather than engineering this out completely, Harley uses it as part of the experience, that pulsing, living feeling beneath you. European manufacturers go to extraordinary lengths to eliminate vibration through counterbalancers, perfect primary balance, as in BMW's Boxer engines, or sophisticated mounting systems. One embraces the raw mechanical nature, the other seeks to perfect it. KTM's LC4 single-cylinder engines represent another fascinating European approach. Their latest 690 cubic centimeter single-cylinder engines use advanced balancer shafts and vibration-reducing technology to make what was traditionally the roughest engine configuration, a big single, into something remarkably smooth and refined. It's engineering that transforms a primitive concept into something sophisticated, the European approach distilled. So which approach is actually better? After 15 years working on both types of motorcycles, here's my controversial conclusion. For pure performance, European engines win hands down. They make more power, handle better, and push the boundaries of what's possible with internal combustion. But for the pure emotional experience of riding, that visceral connection between human and machine, American engines still have an edge. There's something about a big V-twin that speaks to the soul in a way that no high-revving European engine can match. The differences between American and European motorcycle engines reflect deeper cultural attitudes toward motorcycling. American engines embody a "there's no replacement for displacement" philosophy, prioritizing effortless power delivery and mechanical familiarity. They're about freedom, individuality, and the open road. The rumble of a V-twin isn't just a sound, it's a statement about who you are as a rider. European engines represent an efficiency through technology approach, using advanced engineering to extract maximum performance from smaller displacements. They're about precision, innovation, and pushing boundaries. The high-pitched scream of a Ducati isn't just noise, it's a celebration of what's possible when engineering excellence is the goal. These philosophical differences continue to influence modern engine development, even as globalization creates some convergence between approaches. American manufacturers are adopting more sophisticated cooling and valve technologies, while European manufacturers are learning from American approaches to reliability and serviceability. The result is two distinct approaches to motorcycle propulsion that serve different riding preferences, maintenance philosophies, and performance expectations, creating the rich diversity that makes the motorcycle world so compelling for enthusiasts. So, next time you hear the distinctive rumble of a Harley or the high-pitched scream of a Ducati, remember, you're not just hearing an engine. You're hearing the decades of engineering philosophy, cultural values, and rider preferences distilled into mechanical form. The question is, which one speaks to you? Are you Team American Torque or Team European Horsepower? Let the battle rage in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into motorcycle engineering, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that explores the fascinating world of motorcycles. See you in the next one.